Thank you, Vijay madam. So the many things we are going to learn today and tomorrow: basic, foundational literacy, numeracy, phonics, competency-based learning, how to assess the exams, and multidisciplinary project, art integrated learning. All these things we are going to have a brief session for 2 days. So, and why we are all learning all these things, we have to inculcate all these things in our classrooms also. So, for that, for the blessings, I'll invite our principal in charge, cluster in charge principal, Mrs. Hema K, to bless us for this 2 days workshop. Hema ma'am.
Esteemed gathering of teachers, primary teachers of various schools of Kottayam cluster, the coordinators, Biji madam, Raji madam, and of course our special invitee for the first session, Priya madam. A warm good morning to everyone. It is my privilege to address you this morning, a group of teachers. And it is always a happy occasion to address teachers, especially primary teachers. As teachers, we should recognize our call, our duty, and act appropriately, because we are dealing the children of elementary stage. These are the formative years. Whatever we inculcate at this stage will be there for them, for their life. So we have to prepare them for their life. Dear teachers, we have to understand the gravity of the task which is entrusted to you. The children who are sitting in your classrooms are varied. They are unique, but they are different from each other. It is a diverse classroom that we are addressing each day. Now, these children will have to lead a life in their future. For that, they require certain competencies to lead a successful life, to lead a professional life. They require some competencies, and the foundation stone is laid in these formative years. The lacuna, the shortcomings, the gaps that are formed at this stage will last with them forever in their life. That is where the importance of each one of you as primary teacher lies. Now, the learners who are in front of you, each day when you address them, they are diverse, their moods are diverse, and each day it varies. Their talents are different, their interests are different, The ways by which they learn are different. Therefore, we have to adjust ourselves. We have to set the tone of the classroom such that we cater to the needs of each and every student who is sitting in front of us. That is why this workshop is conducted, to create an awareness, because many of you are teaching for the first time. A large majority of you may have entered into teaching for the first time. This is your first year in your professional career as a teacher. So in order to make you aware, conscious, cognizant about the type of learners who are in front of you, you are meeting every day. That is what this workshop is about. This workshop will coach you in such a manner that you will be able to adjust the instructional strategies to address a diverse group. Dear teachers, this is the age during which we create interest in children. Interest towards learning. We have to create interest towards learning. We have to build the ability of attention in a task. Then it has to be improved to making them concentrate. Attention to concentrate. Concentration. And then the deeper skills in them accordingly. So that has to be set here. Therefore, we have to prepare our classroom that would engage them by knowing their interests, by creating environment that suits their interests, that match their interest. As learners are also diverse, just like we all sitting in this group are diverse. We have our own unique features, characteristics. Just like children also are different types of learners. Some are auditory learners. They learn by listening, by hearing a lot. Some will require movements. Some will require visual effects to learn. Then there are a large group of students will learn in an environment where a lot of activities are involved, like role play and all the other things. So each day our classroom, we should see that we engage different types of instructional strategies so that we cater to the needs of the diverse group of children in front of us. Nowadays it is much more easier. You know that in our KVs the classrooms have huge strengths to address. But these days, because of the COVID situation, we have regulated the classroom strength. So it is very easy to attend to each one of the learners and then cater to their needs. Then there are children who are differently abled. So each of our classrooms are also different. You only know who are the children who are sitting in your classroom each day. So depending on that, we have to design our instructional strategies. We need to ensure that it is our duty that every student who should attain mastery in whatever outcome we are planning for the students. We have a learning outcome for each classroom. It is very important that we have a learning outcome for each classroom. And then we have to ensure that this outcome is attained. And at the end of the lesson, if this outcome is not attained, then you have to modify strategies. Teachers will have to be a little more reflective on how I should be planning my lesson such that this particular child also attains mastery in that. So these 2 days of workshop, the different sessions which are incorporated in this workshop will give you an idea on how to carry out your lessons, your instructions, such that each one of those tiny gems who are sitting in your classrooms are satisfied, are happy, they are in a joyful environment, that the essential, the basic things that needs to be cultivated, the basic qualities, the competencies that needs to be cultivated in them are really done at that age. with satisfaction, so that in future they all will be able to lead a successful life. So I, therefore, at this point, I will request each one of these participants to focus into every activity, every point which is delivered here, everything which is discussed with you, and let this be very interactive 2 days. There are some tasks, small tasks which are going to be allotted to you, given to you at the end of each session. Very simple ones which you can perform with interest, so that it will enrich each one of you further and will help, support this particular community. Every member of this community, I wish that as cluster in charge, you should have good cooperation among you, not just teachers within a school, but the teachers, between teachers of different schools, so that we will have good exchange of resources. Sometimes the best resources can be made among many of us. Maybe all the resources for all the classes, it may not be possible to be created by just one teacher, but as a community we can exchange our resources and it can be made use of for the children. Just imagine the crowd that you are enriching them, like the children at Kottayam, the children at Chennirkara, that at Kaduturthi, at Adur. A vast population of children will be benefited, and that is the aim of this workshop. Whole throughout I will be interacting with you also. I will be present in the meeting. So I hope everyone will take this with earnest sincerity. Keep the video on throughout, do all the tasks, and be very interactive in the workshop. The teachers who are taking and the HMs who are participating in this workshop and interacting with you are all very experienced. They have shown their talent, proved their talent in their fields, so you can benefit a lot, so that this becomes a profession that you enjoy, and it feels like your career itself will be something very enjoyable for you, along with making it enjoyable for students. So thank you for listening to me in this morning. I wish a fruitful workshop for 2 days to each one of you. At this point, I should also welcome Priya madam here. When I contacted her to interact with you, she immediately agreed. She, is the headmistress of KVAFS Akulam, and she also agreed to join this workshop to meet each and every one of you. Though Raji madam will be offering the personal welcome, I thought it is my duty to welcome her on my personal behalf. So welcome to Priya madam, and also heartfelt gratitude for addressing this group of teachers over here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Hema ma'am. My camera has switched off, what's happened, I don't know. So thank you so much for your blessings and your inspiring words. Now I welcome Mrs. Priya NV, Headmistress, Kendriya Vidyalaya FO Station, Akulam, Trivandrum, to empower us with basic foundational literacy and numeracy, and so that we can apply it in our classrooms and make our children more bold and literate. Thank you.
Thank you, Raji madam. Most distinguished Honorable Principal KV NTPC, dear colleagues of KV Adur, now Raji madam, Vijay madam, and all the other esteemed colleagues who have joined from Kottayam cluster KVS, and dear teachers who have newly appointed as contractual basis and now engaging the primary students. Very good morning to all. First of all, let me thank Hema madam for giving me a chance to interact with you all. And actually, it's my pleasure and proud privilege to talk to you. Recently I got an opportunity primary classes in Koni, and I was in. I think Koni is also here with. Koni is also here, no, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, sir. So actually, I interacted with you that day, and I told you that day you all have having so much of subject knowledge and potential. And only thing you have to be guided in such a way to know the recent trends happening in our curriculum and in careers. So only that must be guided you so that you will become an excellent teacher come facilitator for the primary students. So thank you everyone. So let me start my session with a simple quote by Albert Einstein. Education is not the learning of facts, but it is the training of the mind to think. So with this, let me enter to my topic, foundational literacy and numeracy. This is basic part of foundational literacy and numeracy. So in detail, literacy and numeracy is given by part. So with your permission, let me present my screen. I hope it is visible now. So let us see what is foundational literacy and numeracy. First of all, let me tell you, when a child is born, so during his 2-3 years with the interaction of their surroundings at home, they acquire some languages. So they are expressing those languages to satisfy their basic needs, maybe from their parents in their mother tongue, what language their immediate surrounding, that is like their parents or relatives, what language they are using. So they acquire that language. So with that language, with the acquisition of that language, they are entering into a primary stage, primary school. They are coming to class 1 with that language. Now, it's our duty to polish their language, their abilities in such a way that they should succeed in their life. Now, before this, let me tell you, recently there was a survey in 2017 amongst the children of class 3 in our country. So it was found that only 28.1% of the children in class 3 could do simple mathematical operations. And only 27.2% of the children of class 3 could read the textbooks of class 2. So from this, it is understood that where our system of education stands. So in that, it is clearly mentioned over 70% of the children in class 3 do not have basic reading and arithmetic skills. So when a child reaches class 3, the child should be able to read at least a few sentences. The child should be able to recognize numbers, able to identify numbers. So these are not acquired when a child reaches class 3. So based on this survey and the inference, a committee was formed by Central Government of India, and that is called the New Education Policy 2020, which was chaired by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, former ISRO chairman. So based on this, there are some areas which has to be developed in, that is the total change in the curriculum has to be developed to attain by 2030. So that is our aim. So in this new education policy, para 2.1 to 2.9 deals with foundational literacy and numeracy. This is the main aim of New Education Policy 2020 to attain foundational literacy and numeracy. Now, I will tell you what is this foundational literacy and numeracy. Actually, primary education is the first stage of the formal education where this child acquires that necessary ability, the basic ability to read and write and also to do number operations. So this is what our aim when the child comes to class 3. The child should be able to read, able to write and able to do simple mathematical operations. And that is the basis for the future school life and for their adult life also. That is the foundation stone. That is what we are giving to the children of the primary students. Now here itself you know importance of a primary teacher. And see, FLN is essential and it is very indispensable prerequisite for nurturing the competencies of the children and for our nation benefit. Now, I'll show you one picture. Let it be an interactive session. Okay, so I would like to give your view. Just observe this picture. And can anyone tell me about this first picture? What is happening in the first picture? Can anyone please? What is that first picture shows? Here you can see 3 children are standing there and they are watching a cricket match. What did you understand from this? Anybody, please? Anyone? Sir, Gautam, please. Vimala madam, please. What did you understand from this first picture?
One child, the first child can be able to see very well.
Yes.
The second one, little bit. Third one cannot see anything.
Okay. And anything else? Anything else is given for these children to help them to see this match? Sir, mic muted, sir.
Madam, may I?
Yes. Please. What is
Enough support.
Yes.
But the third child is not given enough support. So
Yeah.
that he can see the playground.
Yes. So here all these 3 children have been given with this support, same level of support. It is given to all these 3 children. So with this support, the child who is taller, he is able to see very well. And the child who is shorter, he is able to see. But with this support given to the third child, there is no use at all. There is no use with the support given to that third child. Still the child is not able to see. So you please connect with your classroom experiences. Now coming to the second picture. Now what is that second picture shows? Can anyone tell? What is the difference between the first picture and the second picture? So here what is please.
But in the second picture, all the 3 children are able to see the playground.
Yes, how? All the children are able to see, but how?
And with the support.
Yes, here for the second one also support is given, but for the third one also support is given. What is that difference? Just have a
Different type of support
It is
were
an
given.
interactive session.
Different type of support were given in the second picture.
Yes.
Different type of support were given according to the need of the child.
Very good. Here you can see for the third child, we have given special support that the child should be able to see the match. Okay, now here you can see all the 3 children, they are able to see. Actually, this is what happening now. Actually, now what we are doing is based on the level of the children, we are giving the support. And the child, all the 3 children, we are bringing them to the level that they are able to do their task. They are able to attain the teaching learning outcome. Now, just have a look at this. So that is called equity. This is called equity. Now, just have a look at the third picture. What is the difference between these third picture other than the first one?
And third
Madam, may I?
All
Others also please interact.
yes,
What did you understand from
in
this?
the third one, the children are enjoying that game
How? How?
because there is no barrier.
Very good. That's it. Now you can connect all these three pictures. You can see that in the first picture there is a barrier. And in the second picture we have given the support and all the three children they are able to see the marks, but still there is a barrier in front of them. But see the last picture, there is no barrier at all. So this is what we are going to do as per FLN, Foundational Literacy and Numeracy. We have to identify the barrier. What is hindering that child to acquire that learning outcome? What is the hindrance for that child to learn? That barrier has to be removed. So this is what foundational literacy and numeracy means. So now what we are doing is we are giving the support and we are allowing the children to live to that other level, the level of that other child with the support, and we are making them to learn. But our next aim should be the entire barrier. We have to identify why the child is not able to read, why the child is not able to identify the numbers. That barrier has to be identified and remove the barrier in classes 1 and 2. So once the child reaches class 3, there should not be any barrier in front of them to learn. So that barrier has to be removed. I hope it is clear to everybody by looking at this picture how we have to plan our activities in such a way. Now I will tell you how to plan all these activities. Why we have to plan our activities in such a way that the child should be able to read and write and also to recognize the numbers and doing basic mathematical calculations after learning grade 2, that is after class 2. So that is our aim. Now according to NEP 2020, now this will be very clear to you. What are our main aims according to NEP 2020? Close all the learning gaps. There should not be any learning gap between any child. All should be equally treated. All should be attaining a learning outcome. And second one is providing equity. Here, not only providing equity, we have to remove the barrier itself. We have to remove that hindering factor which makes the child to find it difficult to learn. So that barrier itself has to be removed. Then inclusiveness. So in the beginning, Madam was telling about inclusiveness. We have to include all these types of children. There may be some children with learning difficulties, and there may be children with different intelligent quotient, emotional quotient. So we have to include all these children in our teaching learning process. And by this, we can improve the performance of our overall system and we can empower the learners from this. So this is what NEP 2020 aims. Now, for this, what approach we have to follow? So to attain this, a particular approach called ELPS approach has to be followed in all the subjects. This is for languages, mathematics and EVS. ELPS approach has to be followed. Now I'll come to what is ELPS approach. Now E means it is the experience of the child with objects performing an activity. So whenever you teach a concept, the child should be given an experience with that object. Now how it is possible with languages? Suppose you are teaching a lesson. So in that lesson, the child should be given an experience of speaking. The child should be given an opportunity to express themselves. So by in this way, the experience of the child it matters a lot. So here what happens is teachers are only facilitators. So when we teach a topic and we teach a content, teachers are just facilitating the learning and maximum opportunities to be given to the children to express their feelings, to express their thoughts by giving an experience with the object or with the situations. So Here we need activity. That is why activity-based learning plays a very important role in teaching learning process. So experience of the child. E means experience. First one is experience. Here comes L. L means that language. Children express the experience in spoken language. So what all experiences we are giving to the children with their daily life situations, with their immediate environment, and using our TLM for FLN materials, we are giving the experiences and allow the children to talk about it. Then only we can improve their spoken language. So E means experiences, L means language, language to be developed. Even in maths also, when we ask the children to do addition, subtraction, everything, we are giving them opportunities to speak about their daily life situation. That's why we give word problems. So through that word problems, we are developing their spoken language skills. And then comes third one is P, that is pictures. So wherever possible, give pictures for the children to develop stories or to talk about it, and so either images or pictures to be shown to the children to narrate about it. So in that way also we are improving their spoken language. So first experience, then L means language, P means pictures, and the last one is yes, symbol, that is the writing part. Here comes the writing part. For mathematics, after all these things, we are introducing the numbers. After giving the experience of that number concept, after that developing their speaking language ability, and after drawing pictures, maybe showing the number things, objects, 2 objects, 3 objects, then last only we are introducing the symbol. Actually nowadays it is seen that first we show them, this is 3. Okay, first we teach them, see, this is the number 3. Then we teach what is 3. It should not be like that. First we should give that idea, concept of 3. Suppose 3 pictures, 3 leaves, show them 3 leaves, 3 flowers. So let them get an idea of 3 using pictures. And last only we are introducing the symbol. Then we can show them this is 3. Last only we are introducing. So symbols to be introduced last. The same way in English also, Hindi also, that will come later. Okay, that is what FLN says. First, experience of the child. Second one, language to be developed. Third one, use of pictures. And fourth one, written symbols. I hope it is clear to you. Is it clear? This is the approach we have to follow. Now you can correlate with your teaching learning process in the class. How you are doing, and are you incorporating this ELPS approach in your teaching classroom experience? Okay, this is what ELPS approach. Now, let us learn something about foundational literacy. So the ELPS approach is for languages and mathematics and EVS. For all the 4 subjects, that ELPS approach is there. Now let us learn one by one what is foundational literacy. Foundational literacy means at the end of class 2, the child should be able to identify letters, the child should be able to identify words, and child should be able to read familiar words with the comprehension. When a passage is given to the child, a passage of 5, maybe 100 words or 50 words. 50 words for class 1, 100 words for class 2. A small passage is given, unseen passage, whether the child is able to comprehend. When you ask a few questions based on the passage, if the child is able to answer those questions by reading that passage, it means you are successful. The child is able to comprehend. Then the child is able to listen, speak fluently with comprehension. When the child speaks, the child is speaking with the comprehension, not by hearting anything and speaking something. No. So this is the main aim of foundational literacy. This has to be achieved by the end of class 2. Once the child reaches class 3, there should not be any child who is not able to read, who is not able to comprehend a passage. That is when from class 3 onwards, you know that when we give the question paper for formative assessment or summative assessment, whatever we give unseen passage. It shows if the child is able to comprehend that passage means the child knows how to read it and read with the comprehension. So this is about foundational literacy. Actually, these reading skills are very spontaneous and natural. For that, we should give them opportunities to read. Here comes the importance of storytelling, puppet show. So all these things are very important because that creates interest for the children to read. And in class 1 and slowly, very slowly, along with the textbook, you can introduce storybooks. Suppose you are teaching the first lesson, maybe the Mittu and the Yellow Mango, then there itself you can show a book. So it is available in the library also. You can show a book which there are so many pictures, picture books. First you introduce with the picture books and ask the children to read, and next day you can ask a few questions based on that. So automatically, naturally, that interest will be created among the children to read. So this has to be started right from class 1. So if we think that when the child goes to class 6 and they will start reading, no, it should not be like that. That interest to be created when the child reaches class 1. Okay, so that has to be, for that we have to give opportunities. So if they are denied with opportunities in class 1 and 2, they will remain entangled in preparation for reading. They will not come out from there that cage. So that opportunity is to be given in class 1 and 2. Here the importance is not for completing all the lessons of class 1 and 2. Here the importance is whether the children have attained that learning outcome. That has to be our aim, not completing the syllabus or not completing the entire book. That is not our aim. Our aim is we should ensure that all the children in the class acquire that particular learning outcome. So learning outcomes are defined for each classes and each subject lesson type. So that SCRT, that I think all of you may be knowing about it. So based on that, we have to plan our activities and give opportunities for the children to develop that learning outcome. Here the role of the teacher is only to facilitate, give opportunities for the children to speak. And during a class also, online class also, maximum we have to elicit from the children only. It is not necessary that the teacher should talk over 40 minutes. It's not like that. Elicit maximum opportunities to be given to the children to express their ideas and that to know that whether the learning outcome was achieved or not. Now, see, foundational literacy refers to the skills and strategies I have already told you involved in reading, speaking, writing, and interpreting one's thoughts. So, these are not different processes. This LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, it should happen simultaneously. It is not like that first we will develop listening, then we will develop reading. No. All these listening, speaking, reading, writing, all these skills to be developed simultaneously. Then only the children will be able to interpret their thoughts. So literacy helps students apply reading, writing, speaking and listening skills across a variety of subject areas. So here you can see those pictures that after seeing that the plan the child is telling, this is the rose plan. That thought has come already. If the child is able to interpret that thought, it comes to their mind immediately when they observe things. Okay, this is how we have to develop foundational literacy. Now, a student of class 1, they should be able to read 40 words in a minute. So that we can check if the child is able to read 40 words in a minute, means that the child has taken at work. Okay, and our 2 students, they should read 60 words in a minute. In 1 minute, they should read 60 words. So you can just check it when you give the children reading passage. When you ask the children to read in classes, you just check whether the child is able to read. No need to count by just if you allow them to read 4 or 5 sentences, you can identify whether the child is able to read or not. Then some skills to be developed in foundational, that is foundational stage. So foundational stage, that I think that session on NEP will be there, then you will come to know more about it. Then, so after attaining the foundational literacy, the child knows these things. First one, they understand that English print is from left to right. First thing. And second, the child will be able to hear, read and write initial letter sound. So here comes the importance of phonics. So if before teaching a letter, we are teaching sound. So in class 1, that I'll come to you later, in the remaining slides it will be given. So first we teach them sound. Then the child should know the common sound associated with every letter in English alphabet. Now I'll tell you one example. So you are teaching sound. Okay. So we are not teaching yes first. So we give them some words. First we show them some pictures which starts with S. For example, we can show them snake. Okay. Then show some other picture like sounds, where sounds come. Please tell me, help me with some letters which starts with S. Objects. Shop.
Snow.
No. Yes. So come on, tell me some more sounds.
Sword.
Yes. So first what we have to do is show these pictures. We are showing these pictures. Okay, and ask, and that too we have to give familiar objects only. Familiar objects according to the level of the practice. So ask children to say what it is. So they all will start saying the names of these objects. Then ask the children what is the common sound in all these. So children, they will identify immediately the sound. Okay, then give them some more opportunities to speak some more objects or words starting with yes. Sound. Then you can introduce the sound, the letter yes after introducing the sound. This is how we have to plan our teaching in class 1. First we will be teaching sound, then we will go to the letter. Okay, so identify that separate sounds within the words and which may be represented by more than one letter. And like you can see that TH. So after introducing the single letter word, then introduce 2 letter words like TH, the, CH, SH. Here also, first we introduce some words starting with all these sounds. Then children identify the common sound in all these words. Then we can introduce the sound and the letters we use for making that word. C, Ch, S, H. Okay, in that way, we can develop sound awareness among the children before teaching them that letters, alphabet, before teaching alphabet. Then use phonic language to read decodable words. There is a session, phonic, I think Sini Madam is here, deal with the more activities of this phonic activities, how to introduce that phonic activities that Madam will teach. Then use knowledge of sounds to read and single syllable. I think that also Madam will take in detail, because we are teaching them first single syllable words like pin, tin, like that words we will teach them. Then later we will teach pencil. So here the children understand their pencil. So for that we will teach them using class, pencil. So in detail Madam will teach. So I have to talk about that foundational numeracy also. And then fix common words on sight. So we can introduce with the common words and then go to complex sentences. The next one is the child should be able to read aloud, simple poems and storybooks. This activity to be given in all the classes. So in every class, you may not be able to give chances to all the students at a time. So in all the classes, 4 or 5 students, minimum 4 or 5 students to be given opportunity to read aloud. Maybe the textbook itself or the stories introducing to students. So read aloud is very important factor that hindrance the child they should not be hesitated to read in front of others. So that has to be developed in class 1 and 2. So in all the classes, for at least for daily 4 to 5 children to be given opportunity to read aloud. Then next very important thing, read with intonation. So when 2 sentences are given, the child should know if there is a full stop in between 2 sentences, how to read it. The child should stop there. So when you this we can understand when you listen to the loud reading of a child. If you give silent reading, we don't know how the child is reading. So this has to be corrected in class itself. So if you start correcting in the class 1, they will never make mistake. You know, when they may make mistake because they don't know intonation and where to pause and they have not learned from their home. So the practice we are giving in the class. So when they read, we can ask them, you first, before teaching reading, you have to read. You should be a role model for them. If you read, you have to stop there and read slowly only, don't go fast. According to the level of the students, you have to read slowly and you should stress upon that pause where full stop is there. And when the child will listen, madam has paused there. Then go the next sentence. Then when you ask the children to read, suppose sometimes there may be mistakes, children will read continuously. There itself you have to give correction. Correct there and then go to the next one. And again, after correcting, you ask the child to repeat. So you may be, you have to ask 2-3 times. Second time also the child will read in the same way. Again you ask him to stop and read again. So if they are being given 2-3 chances, they will never do that mistake later. So that stress has to be given. Where to stop, how to use comma, that proper intonation to be taught from the beginning itself. Then reads to follow simple instructions. For that what you can do is class 1 itself, you can make simple instructions like may I come in, may I go to washroom, then close the door, switch on the fan. These simple instructions can be written on a chart paper. You can present it in the display board. So in big letters. So daily they are listening to these words, they will start learning all these things. Then reads, labels, announcements. So listen children, maybe the children those who are coming from that other background like Hindi background, they will have very difficult during the first 2 days when we give any instruction, they may not be able to understand. So such type of small instructions you can write and you can repeat in the class slowly by slowly they learn. And you know the children, the newly born children, they are acquiring the language that mother tongue at home. Nobody is teaching them. They are hearing from their parents or from their cousins or from their surroundings and they are learning that language. Children learn language very fast. The same thing happens with schools. So I'll tell you, if the teacher who does not know Malayalam, like teachers from northern region, if they are teaching Hindi in the class, this is my experience in my school, I'll tell you, children are learning Hindi very fast. And they become very fluent in Hindi because the teacher doesn't know Malayalam, the teacher is not speaking Malayalam, and languages to be taught in that particular language only. If you start explaining Hindi in English, the students will be asking again and again, madam, what is its meaning? What is its meaning in English and Hindi? So there you can give some, suppose some difficult words are there, you can show them pictures. Show the pictures and then ask them to guess the meaning. So in this way, children will start learning. If you start explaining in Malayalam, they will not learn Hindi. So you again and again have to repeat many times. So, but they will learn Hindi easily. Okay. Locate answers to the question in the given text. Identify simple rhyming words, opposite describing words in the text. So here in the poems itself, describing words are there and then rhyming words are given. You can use first. And first, the same rhyming words are repeated in all the lessons. So in all the lessons, you repeat that rhyming words. Make them forget that this is rhyming word. So by the end of 3 or 4 poems or lessons, it will go with the rhyming word. So whenever you ask the child, is able to see that rhyming word or describing word or not. Now, actually, this is the recommended teaching plan. When we teach alphabet in class, we are not teaching in the order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, no, we are not teaching. There are some letters we have to introduce first. The first letter to be introduced to the child is sound. So we are introducing in this order. If you go through the textbook, English for Hindi text, you can come to know that at the end of each lesson, some words are given where these letters are stressed. So we are introducing these letters after each unit, and at the end of these, after introducing all these letters, we are teaching them all of that alphabet. Actually, what happens is children go to LKG and UKG and they learn English alphabet and they come. And then that is why for English we don't find it difficult. But for Hindi, what we have to do is we should not introduce A, I, E like that. First, in each lesson, you have to identify some letters are given there to introduce. Introduce those letters, those sounds, and complete those, and even matra also. First lesson we are teaching in matra. So in that way, teach all the letters and all the matra in, and at the end we are asking the children to write in order. Then we are teaching those alphabet in order. So whenever you say any matra or any letter, the child should be able to write it. Otherwise, you know, in Hindi what these children are doing, they will start counting from E, U, then they are writing that particular letter. So whenever a sound is heard, sound is given to the child should recognize what letter comes from that particular sound. So for that, you have to follow this. I will give you, I'll send this PowerPoint so that you can see in what order we should teach these letters. And start with the most common sound, that is with starting with this. Then separate auditorily or visually similar letters. Then introduce more useful letters first, and then introduce lowercase letters first. Actually, we have to introduce lowercase letters first, and then only we should go to capital letters. These are the recommended plans, and this is the order to teach cursive letters. And this order is also, this is recommended by NCRT. So it's given there. And once you teach your children to pronounce the sounds of our arithmetic system, you equip them to become independent in their learning. So instead of teaching the letter first, you teach them sound. That is why I can say that the barrier of learning can be removed. The barrier of the learning has to be removed in reading by introducing that sound of the letter. Here comes the importance of phonics. Then here phonics session will be there. I have just given a few sounds like H, chicken, SH, ship. So this way you can introduce with the common pictures where the children are familiar with it. Then here also I have already told you LSRW, Hindi native, listening, speaking, reading, writing, it should have simultaneously. So when you teach something, when you teach a particular content, if to be in possible, there should be one activity for listening, and automatically when the children speak about it, the speaking competency will come. Then ask the children to read, their reading with the comprehension, and then comes writing. So remember, when you teach language, English or Hindi, all these four competencies to be included. Then, in Hindi, now I'll tell you in that first lesson, first unit of Hindi, we are introducing na lesson first. So for that, what we are doing is, we are asking the children, we can ask the children, in online class, or we can, if in offline class, we can take the children out, show them null. Then speak about their nana, nani. Then some other words which starts with na. Show the picture of na. So first you introduce these pictures, show them these pictures and tell them what is it. We can introduce na, nak. Very easily you can show them nak. Then ask the children, what is that sound common in all these objects? Children, they will identify very easily and they will say no sound. Then, and give them wherever possible, give them experiential learning. Bring them out. In online classes, mean ask them to go to washroom, ask them to go to kitchen. Open the tap. Now give them experiential learning and then ask them to touch their nose. So there also they are experiencing this is not. In this way, give them experiential learning and afterwards you are introducing the symbol. Last only we are introducing, they are just drawing. First we can say they are drawing and then we are introducing the symbol. So in this way you have to introduce Hindi letters. And first we are teaching, and this is not separate, this has to be gone along with the lesson. First we teach the lesson, children will read the lesson without knowing anything. We will tell the stories and after that lesson we have to teach these letters. Okay, and it is not like that first we will teach all the alphabet, then only we will introduce the lesson. No. I think in some of the schools still they are teaching that alphabet, they have not started the lessons yet. It should not be like that. We have to teach these letters along with the lesson. That books are also designed in that way. Then here the same thing, whatever things I explained in English, it is written here also. बच्चों के लिए भाषा सीखना रोचक बनाए, make it interesting. So in this way, if you teach now these letters, children they like to go to that tap and they touch. They are enjoying that. This makes it joyful learning. They are enjoying and then at the end they are learning to work. That learning also takes place. And बच्चों को नई भाषा सुनकर उसे ग्रहण करने के अधिक से अधिक अवसर प्रदान करें. Give them opportunities. And अर्थ समझने के लिए चित्रों का प्रयोग करें. The same thing ELPS approach is given here also. And give them pictures, show them pictures. बच्चों को भाषा सुनने के मौके अधिक दे, सुनने के मौके दे, story telling. Okay, here that comes storytelling in Hindi. Also small stories can be given to the children. उनसे बोलने की अपेक्षा सीमित रखें. So give them opportunities to speak. You tell them a story. Ask the children questions based on those stories and tell them to express their feelings. So give them opportunities to listen and speak. And अर्थ समझकर पढ़ने की क्षमता को सहारा दें. उनको अर्थ समझना चाहिए. For that you can use pictures. And some of the words you can ask them to guess. Children they themselves guess and say. And that when children read storybooks later, when they read novels and all, they are not learning. They don't know. They don't go through the dictionary to find out the meaning. They are guessing the meaning. So in that way also you can help them. नई भाषा की जटिलताओं को पहचान कर भाषा सिखाने के क्रम को निर्धारित करिए. So they are learning a new language. Give them a very joyful experience with interest. Let them learn. Then here I have already told you about the steps of teaching alphabet. Identification of the sound, then repeating words with that sound, showing its picture. I have already explained all these steps. Then students identifying the common letter, introducing that letter, Then making alliterations. Alliterations you can say like nani, nal, nani, neela, nal, hola. So na, that is called alliterations. Okay, that I think phonics madam will take more about alliterations. Then learns to write that letter. So last only we are introducing the symbol of letter. So here some alliterations are given. Nana, kakan, nana, kina. So here same sound is repeating in the sentence. That is called the alliterations. Then coming to foundational numeracy, I think the next session is about foundational numeracy. I just tell the basic things we have to learn from foundational literacy and numeracy. So, according to foundational numeracy, after entering, at the end of class 2, the child should be competent in counting. The child should be able to understand numbers and simple basic operations, addition or subtraction. This is the main aim in foundational numeracy. And the first thing is identifying the numbers. Then the child should be able to count the numbers. Then the child should know the number name. First they are identifying the numbers. There we are not introducing that number. They are identifying what is 1, what is meant by 1, what is meant by 2, like that. Then they learn to count. We give them objects, give them experiential learning, ask the children to bring items, or we can provide rajma or any seeds or even leaves. You can make use of all the available objects around you and give them counting. Ask the children to count 1 from there. Then ask them to take 2. In that way, teach them counting. Then they are learning what is that? This is 2. They are learning the number name, and then they are discriminating what is the difference between 1 and 2. 1 means here only 1 leaf is there. Therefore, go ahead. So after that only we are introducing the symbol. Don't introduce the symbol first. So when you teach, we are introducing the symbol at last. Then after that they start doing basic operations like missing numbers, addition, subtraction, and then comes word problems. So this is what foundational numeracy means. At the end of class 2, all the children should be able to identify numbers, count the numbers, and able to do simple mathematical operations. Then here for making mathematics meaningful, you can provide activities related to the daily life situations. So for you speak about maths, whenever you teach any topic in mathematics, always connect with their daily life experience. That gives them that idea that how mathematics is connected to their life. Don't teach them as a subject. Teach them as something which is related to their daily life situations, and provide enough opportunities inside and outside classroom. That is what we are giving experiential learning. Make that learning of mathematics joyful by providing enough experiences or hands-on experiences even in the classroom also. And what we feel, no, this is very easy, no, 2 plus 1 equals 3. For us it is easy, but for the child who is learning for the first time, it is not easy. You have to go to the level of the child. You think that you are in class 1. So you are sitting in class 1 and whether you will be able to learn if you say 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Don't teach them like that. So go to the level of the children and then teach these concepts connecting to their daily life experience and make the classroom lively, interesting, and joyful. And then you can provide concrete objects and manipulatives like toys, puppets, and learning aids. Make use of all the possibilities of puppet, then toys, and even what all things you can use in the classroom. Make use of it and make the classroom learning experience a joyful one. Then these pedagogical processes involve the same thing only: active participation of the child, engaging the child in relevant activity. I have summed up all these things. Then taking account of observations of the child. I'll tell you, when we give them opportunities to do and then do the activities and express their feelings, suppose you are teaching 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Sometimes what these children will do now, first the child will take 2 objects and then the child adds 1 with it. Then the child will say, madam, when I added 1 with you, I got 3. There are children, what they do, they take this 2 to 1 and the child says, madam, I have done like this. Okay, so you have to give them confidence. You should tell them in that way also. That is what taking account of observations of the child. So what all observations the child is doing, we have to motivate them. We should not say, no, you take 2, then you add 1. Don't impose your observations to the child. Let the children express in their own way, and when they do it, you should motivate them. So in that way, we are developing the creative and critical thinking of the children. So there the child has, child's thinking is in another way. So that also we have to motivate. And problem posing by the teacher or children. So ask the children to ask questions. Let them ask questions. So that also to be there. And problem solving by the teacher. When the children ask questions, it is the duty of the teacher to solve it. And don't tell the children that, okay, I'll tell you later, you just sit down. Never discourage the children in the class. Always motivate them with, sometimes there may be blunders, but you don't tease them in front of others. You just take it in such a way that, you have asked a very good question. That way, you change it and then motivate the children. If you tease the children in class, they will never ask questions in the class. Afterwards, they will never open their mouth. So let them make mistakes. They are learning from the mistake. Okay. Then visualization and representation. So here we should give all opportunities to visualize in the class. Suppose there are some topics like the 3D objects, 2D objects and 3D objects. So give them opportunities to see that. You can make one 3D shape, bring it to the class, show them, ask the children to make 3D shape. So in that way, we can give them visualization. Then making connections and reasoning. Reasoning also can be developed in mathematical classes, and even the language also will be developed in mathematics classes. Then the same thing, mathematics through experiential learning. Every child comes to school carrying his culture, art, language and food to the school. And we have to incorporate all these things in the class. Now, let me show you some pictures and you have to tell me what these children they learn from this. Okay, these are just those, I have summed up all those things. Now, see, you can see one picture here. Can anyone tell me what child will understand? This is a game. We are connecting with the game. We are taking them out and the children are playing a game. So, from this, what we can teach children? What these children are learning from this? Can anyone, please? Please respond up.
Ma'am, square and vertices.
That is, they are learning shapes.
Yes.
Here the children are learning shapes. We are not introducing vertices in class 1. They are learning corners.
Yes.
Okay. So in that way, we can, unknowingly they are learning that shapes. We are asking the children to stand in a square. We draw that square. We are asking the children to go and stand there. So they are learning shapes. And then they learn commas and circles. Now in the second picture, Sri Lakshmi madam, please tell me what these children will learn from this game. Sri Lakshmi Manu madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What these children will learn? See, they are
Is introducing circle. You are forming.
very good. You are right. There also we are introducing circle. And here, tug of war. Here, what these children can learn? Any idea? Anyone, please? What these children will learn from this tug of war? We are asking the children to play tug of war. So,
Ma'am, strength, is it about strength or about two-sided equal children, number of children are there?
yes, see, same number of children on both the sides, that is grouping. Here we can introduce division also. Okay, so here we can introduce division. Children, both same number of students are there in both the sides. So grouping, we can introduce grouping and divide it into equal numbers. So in this way, you can introduce the basic operations also connecting with their daily life experiences and in playable method. Here comes integration with the games and music, art, all these are incorporated with this. So unknowingly, we are asking the children to play the game, but they are learning, integrating with the games. So this is, they are learning mathematics. Mathematics also can be integrated with all these things. And when we ask some teacher, they will say, how can we, I want to teach addition, subtraction, multiplication, how can I take them out and teach division? See, here is a book. So they are enjoying, they are unknowingly, they are learning, same number of children are there on both the sides, and you group them. So, and then through this way, you can introduce division. So, here, I think DG Madam will be taking next session on basic numeracy. Then, here we have to give them the conceptualization of mathematical ideas, accept the strategies adopted by each child. The same thing I told you. So, you can, when the children say about their observation, accept them. And then utilization of learning resources. There are many learning resources, you can utilize all those things. And then facilitate critical thinking in mathematics at foundational stage itself. So by children know when they observe those things in different way, children are developing that critical thinking ability there. So accept it. Then encouraging the children to pose problems, and it's your duty to answer those problems. Then integration of literacy and numeracy. Use of the language in understanding mathematics. This foundational literacy and numeracy both are interrelated. Through mathematics, through numeracy, they are developing literacy. So in that literacy also this mathematics is incorporated. So use of language in understanding mathematical ideas. Then language of disposition of mathematical thinking. Then precise communication, language with mathematical ideas. In mathematics, we are developing language also. That is why, when word problems are given, when you give word problems, you frame the questions in such a way that it is, that language is also given properly in that word problems. Language is also used properly, and mathematical technology as a part of daily language. So, here, I'm coming to the last parts, I think. Madam, please give me 5 more minutes, I'll finish it off, madam.
You can take your own time, madam, no issue at all. No issue.
Then, plan of action. How we should plan for learning. What are the plans to be done to attain foundational literacy and numeracy? First thing, each lesson has some learning outcomes. First, you identify those learning outcomes and break down those learning outcomes into workable units. There may be 4 or 5 learning outcomes in each lesson. So, you break down those learning outcomes according to the number of periods, according to that plan. So, in suppose you can finish one learning outcome in one period, you can plan for that period. One particular learning outcome for that period. So you break down that learning outcome into small units. Then, after that, what you have to do is plan activities for that learning outcome. So you have to plan some activities. How I can attain this learning outcome using suitable activities involving students. I hope you all know what is the difference between teaching aid and the teaching learning material. Teaching aid, suppose you are taking a chart paper and you have pasted some pictures in the chart different types of houses. One small example. Recently I saw one class that I told you that different types of houses, pakka house and kacha house, you want to convey to the children. And you have taken a chart paper and you have pasted some pakka houses in one chart paper and you have pasted some kacha houses in another chart paper and showing the children. Okay, this is a teaching aid. The teacher is using it to show to the child. That is a teaching. Tell me, how can we convert it into a teaching learning material, TLM? How can we convert it into a TLM? Can anyone? Shobha madam, do you have any idea? How can we convert that picture of pakka house and kacha house? How can we convert it into a TLM, teaching learning material?
I think they have to identify some more houses nearby and they have to try to explain which house will come in which area. Like Kacha house will come in which places.
Very good, very good. But how can we involve children? Can anyone tell? How can we involve children in that activity?
Madam, we ask them to give the materials to the children and ask them to construct kacha house and pakka house.
Ask them to construct. In this chart, how can, in the class?
We can ask them to draw.
Yes. Okay, very good, very good. Now, I tell you, you have pasted it in the chart. Instead of you pasting it in the chart, give those pictures to the students after teaching the topic. Emily, please. So, after teaching the topic kacha house and pakka house, you in the chart paper you just write kacha house and pakka house. Okay, paste it in the class, show it in the class. Then, instead of you pasting it in the chart, give those pictures randomly in the class. Kacha houses and pakka house, some of the pictures are there, flat, then hut. You just distribute among students. Okay, then you can ask the first child, what did you get? What is there in your hand? The child will identify this is hut. Okay, now ask the child to come and paste in the correct chart paper, in the correct place. Okay, if the child is coming and pasting it in the place of kacha house, it means the child has attained that learning outcome. Hope it is clear to you. The same way, if the child can paste it in the correct place, there we are assessing also, our assessment is also over now. Now the child has pasted in the correct place and the child attained the learning outcome. So it means our target is attained to the child. Okay, so in that way you can convert it into TLM. So plan such type of activities, not showing a teaching aid, include the children in doing that activities, and then there itself you can assess that learning outcome also. So plan such type of activities. It should be here that assessment strategies also we can plan through the activities. Okay, then that is the step 2. Then coming to the step 3, use of giving experiential learning, like toys wherever possible. It is not necessary that in all the classes, for class 5, class 4, English and all, wherever possible, according to that content, use the objects, or like toys and all, it will be interesting up to class 3. So when come to class 4 and 5, give more opportunities to speak. You know, you can, for example, there is a lesson, topsy-turvy land. So then Ripu and Mingle. Then some situation where children can express. So one example, a small example I will tell you. Suppose you have landed in a chocolate land. So give your experiences. Children will come up with so many ideas. So according to the level of the children, you can give opportunities to express. For class 1 and 2, we can give toys, puppets, and then storytelling, all those things. So by after the class 3, the child have attained all those things. Now, according to the level, you can give them opportunities to speak. Then step 3 means learning gaps should be identified during school readiness program and remediation to be done in the beginning to bridge the gaps. That is, we are reviewing and implement the activities which are experiential, toys, puppets, music, art and games integrated to make it joyful learning event, test the achievement of the learning outcome. Now, what to do is, after that learning activities and assessment, we are doing the assessment. So during the assessment, we identify some children who have not attained the learning outcome. Okay, so there we can understand the level of the child. Then here we have to review ourselves. What change has to be made in my planning? Whether I should change my activity, whether I should change my way of teaching. So in which way I should change what method has to be changed for that particular child to attain the learning outcome. So there we can assess ourselves where we have gone wrong. Maybe that because of that particular activity, some of the children they have attained that particular learning outcome, but some of the children that barrier might have not removed from them. So for that, what we have to do? What change has to be made in my planning? So that you have to identify, then change that planning for those particular children, and again you have to review and revise, do again. So there comes that remedial teaching. That is called the remedial teaching. We have to change our strategy of that planning. Then that should be according to that particular child, the child who did not attain the learning outcome. Then after that, again you have to do follow-up, then only it will be successful. Again you have to test those particular children whether they have attained the learning outcome. If you feel still they need some more change, some more improvement, again adopt another strategy according to their level. Okay, in that way follow also has to be done. Then we can, and that has to be repeated till we ensure that all the children have achieved the targeted learning outcome. And step 4, assessment in alignment with the learning outcomes on each unit. Then we give the assessment. So what all things I have explained, it is given in a diagram like this. First thing is our goal, to attain foundational literacy and numeracy. Then we have to do planning, plan accordingly. Then do the activities, experiences, teaching learning activities. Then the last comes review or revise. Here you see that during the review, if it is not attained, you have to go back. You have to, where is your mistake? So in which way you have gone, in which place you have gone wrong. Identify that, go again. Okay, that follow-up has to be done. Then only you will succeed in that, in attaining that learning. So this is about foundational literacy and numeracy. And for foundational literacy and numeracy, there is a blog by Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangadan, Nipun Bharat blog. You can make use of the blog. There for class, all the classes, all the materials are given, and you can see how puppets are being used and how toys are introduced in classes 1 and 2. So this will help you, and this blog name will be given to you all. And I'll give this PowerPoint also so that you can make use of the blog. I think it's 10 o'clock. I'm also having another class with us. So thank you so much. I hope you understood something about FLN. If any doubt, please you can ask me. Madam, may I? One second, let me stop sharing my screen. So, thank you everybody. Now, I have a request that, see, you take one particular unit of English or Hindi of class 1, those who are teaching in class 1. Then identify which letter you can teach in that lesson. Please make a plan. What particular learning outcome you can design, and then how you will plan according to this goal, then all those activities, and according to our plan, how to attain the foundation literacy and numeracy. Make one plan, and if you can give it to your senior most teachers. I think they will help you. So with this, let me finish off my lesson on small session on foundational literacy and numeracy in this small period. I could not elaborate all those things. I think literacy and numeracy, they will be taking another class separately. So that time it will be very clear to you. So thank you, Hema madam, for giving me a chance to interact with them. I don't know whether I succeeded in fulfilling your ideas about handling these teachers. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Priya madam. Actually, it was a very enlightening session. This, kindly everybody else please mute the mic. First session actually set the tone for this 2 days workshop. It gave the flavor to the 2-day workshop. It was an outline of this 2-day workshop, and there was a lot of inputs from this workshop which the teachers can take away, and I hope they will implement in their classes. And I feel very proud that I have introduced you when I have introduced Priya madam to all the participants here. And it was a very enriching session, madam. You never, you always meet the expectations and deliver more all the time. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya madam, for your valuable time you have delivered to us. And we are enriched. Our teachers are enriched right now, because many of the things which you have added are helpful for them, will be helpful for them. Every time you are a very busy person, we know. So thank you so much. Now I request our next.
So may I leave? May I leave, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you once again. Yeah.
Now I request our next resource person, Mrs. Bijimol madam, primary teacher, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Adu Shift 2, to enrich us with foundational numeracy. Biji ma'am.
Yeah, before Biji madam comes in, I'll post a link here. I have created a Google Classroom so that we are planning to give some work to the teachers, and we are going to collect this work from them. So while Biji madam is continuing, I'll be posting an invitation link to our classroom here in the chat box. All of you can join in that classroom so that your works can be collected to through that classroom. Okay, welcome Biji madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Hema ma'am, Principal Kendriya Vidyalaya NTPC Kottayam, Raji ma'am. So, and all my dear friends. So here, today I am here to give a briefing of foundational numeracy. I would like if I can see all the faces here, seeing on the profile photos and saying something looks odd. So I request all of you to please keep your videos off. Thank you. Okay, so foundational literacy, I think Priya madam has given or elaborated in the best way. And now here we deal with the foundational numeracy. You know that both foundational numeracy and foundational literacy go hand in hand. So if one is, or the child is not having one, that is either literacy or numeracy, the child will lead a life of handicapped life. So here in our day-to-day life, the students should be well prepared to face the challenges and should get the opportunities that fast evolving knowledge is providing us. And in this special emphasis is given to foundational numeracy, because we know that a good quality structure is in where the foundation. And if any student lacks some of the qualities or some of the literacy or the numeracy in the foundation stage, that weaker section becomes weaker and weaker when in higher stages, and then becomes a lacunae, or a vacuum is created, and the child lose interest in the subject in the future. As we see that in maths, most of the students or the maths is a hard subject. So it is because the foundation in the is not so early stage itself, all these numeracy and literacy should be achieved, and the academic achievers in the later stage will be limited. Is weak, one part is weak. So we should pay attention to overcome this situation, and now let's today deal with the some of the topics, because we had a workshop of 6 days, and now I am briefing it in 1 hour. So the points are the things which I feel it is important.